here on Grady's Mom. This is part 2 of my Q&A. This is actually take 2 because the first part 2 that I filmed literally was 50 minutes long, like 50. So, and then when I rewatched it, it was just, I digressed too much and got off topic. So we're going to try this again a few days later. So I'm just going to pick up right where I left off. The next question is from Jolene N. And she says, maybe a video of how much you spend on stuff, broken down by categories like decor, groceries, household stuff, furniture, clothing, etc. Don't have to say income, but expenses maybe. Okay, so I did do a budgeting video last year, so I'm going to link that below. All the videos that I mentioned that I'll link below, they'll just be in the description box. So as far as home decor, I just buy that as needed, but I am really good about purging things. So when I pull out my seasonal decor, like for holidays or seasons, I just go through, and whenever I'm not using or I just don't like, I will sell it, I will donate it, I will give it away, I'll just, toss it, whatever the case may be on decor. Groceries, we have a $200 budget a week. However, that includes everything, including food, cleaning products, paper goods like toilet paper, paper towels, that kind of thing. So I usually spend about $150 a week on food alone, and then the weeks when I need paper goods and cleaning products or laundry detergent, obviously it's probably closer to $200. Household stuff as needed, again with my $200 budget a week for groceries and household stuff. Furniture we buy as needed. When we moved into this house, we did have to buy a lot of furniture because we sold about half, maybe about 60% of our furniture in New York before we moved. Clothing I usually do like as needed, but I find that in the fall and the spring, it tends to be when we need more clothes in general. But I'm really good about purging clothes. If something's old or I don't like it or it doesn't fit right, I'll sell it, I'll purge it, I'll donate it. Grady's clothes are probably the biggest expense because kids grow so fast. So I feel like I'm constantly buying him new clothes, new shoes because he's growing out of things. However, I do sell I would say about 75% of his clothing, and then the other 25% I either donate it or toss it if it's just too trash to sell. But again, I'll link that budgeting video down below. Next question is from Shauna R. What is your cleaning regimen and what kind of products do you use? Do you have someone who helps you clean or do you do it all yourself? So I clean my house all alone. I don't have anyone that I hire or like a cleaning person. My husband does help too. He does our bathrooms. He does all of our like lawn maintenance, garden maintenance, landscaping, things like that. He definitely helps with anything that I need him to do. But mainly I clean the house on my own. I clean every Friday morning. I do have a cleaning playlist, so I'm going to link that whole playlist down below. I also have a video about the specific products that I use to clean and which areas I use to clean with. Including like the mop I use and things like that. I love Method products, except their wood cleaner. I like a product called Barkeeper's Friend. So I'm going to link that video below, the cleaning playlist, as well as my favorite cleaning products video down below. Melinda C. asks, I know you mentioned being adopted. Are you and your brother biological siblings and both adopted by your mom and dad? I find family stuff and upbringing info interesting. I would never have asked you that, but since you said we could be nosy, which is fine. I realize you guys are asking these because you want to know the answer. So I am adopted. My siblings, I'm the oldest, and myself and my siblings, none of us are biological. So none of us at all are biological, even to each other. We were all adopted as babies around 6 months old-ish. My mom and dad adopted all of us. My mom could not physically have kids. Back in the 70s when her and my dad got married, there was not IVF. There was not all the advances they have now for parents. So my parents chose to adopt. Again, we're not biological. I actually might do a whole video on this, on being adopted, maybe like some common myths about being adopted, because I feel like I have a pretty good handle on it growing up in a family where I was adopted as well as my siblings were adopted. I honestly had a very normal life, and by normal I mean your typical issues, your ups, your downs, your highs, your lows. We had our normal family drama. We really honestly experienced everything that a typical family experiences, but I'd be happy to do a video on that because I know a lot of people are interested in just being adopted, or maybe they want to adopt themselves. So I will definitely work on a video for that. Naomi L asks, what did you do for a job before you had your son? I worked, right before I had my son, I worked in a private home, in a residence, as like a house manager. So I did everything from cooking to meal planning to helping plan events. This was a large residential home, and they did a lot of events. The wife also had MS, so I had to assist with a lot of her things. She had a lot of physical therapists and different treatments and stuff, so I just sort of managed the household. I did anything from helping the wife, because again, she had MS and was wheelchair bound. I did cooking and meal planning and event planning, scheduling. I just managed a lot of the household things. Before that, I worked in the mortgage business for a long time. Hopefully that helps. Melinda C. again also asked, what does your husband do for work and why did you decide to move south? My husband works construction. He's a project manager for a construction company in Charlotte, North Carolina. They do high-end homes. So they do $1 million homes, multi-million-dollar homes. They do high-end remodels, high-end additions. I would say the average job, like remodel or addition they do, is over $100,000. Why did we decide to move south? A lot of reasons. We weren't happy in New York. It's very expensive there. The cost of living here is about 50% lower. Also, the winters there are pretty harsh if you work construction. So most of the construction companies lay off their workers in the colder months. So many times, you know, he was getting laid off like Christmas time, January, February into March. So going from a significant income to unemployment, which is a tiny bit of an income, was a real issue, especially that it was constantly, you know, like a cycle every year. Honestly, we just wanted a change. We wanted something new. My husband and I had lived in New York for a majority of our lives. I think my husband lived in New York almost 30 years. He was born in Connecticut, but he lived in New York, I believe, since he was like Grady's age, pretty much his whole life. So that's pretty much why we decided to move to lower cost of living, a change, something new, that kind of thing. Valerie M. Hey girl, I see you. She asked, good idea. I want to know what you do for exercise and how you keep fit. So I don't exercise traditionally, like in a traditional way. I did go to the gym last year and I did get pretty fit for me. I'm not somebody who's like a workout junkie or health junkie or anything like that. The way I keep fit, which I don't really consider myself that fit, I do walk sometimes with my neighbor Lisa. Never on a schedule. Sometimes we walk 3 times a week. Sometimes we walk once a week. Sometimes we don't walk at all. So I walk with her sometimes. When we do walk, we walk. We'll do like a couple miles and we'll walk at a pretty fast pace. Other than that, I'm just constantly running around doing things. I really think a lot of it is just my genetics. I think I just genetically have a fast metabolism. I also watch what I eat, not in a way that I'm dieting, but I'm conscious of, I try not to eat fast food. I try not to eat a lot of processed food. I'm not perfect by any means. I definitely eat my sweets. I like pizza. I'm not a perfect eater. I'm not a health nut. I've never been one to say that I am. Again, I think a lot of it's metabolism, genetics, and I'm a very active person, so I'm always on the go. So I think that's really what I can attribute that to. Brooke H. asks, if you could only use one makeup item for the rest of your life, what would it be? I answered this in part 1 from Madison's question. I would have to say foundation, only because I have skin issues, and as hard as that was, because I love lip things. I love like lip gloss and lipsticks, but I have to go with foundation if I could only use one. Carrie M. asks, if you could eat out for all meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what restaurant would you choose? I'm assuming that means just for the day. I'd have to say Cracker Barrel, only because I love their breakfast. And I couldn't think of that many restaurants that served breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And since it says all 3 at one restaurant, I'd have to pick Cracker Barrel because I really love their breakfast. And I'd probably end up eating their breakfast for breakfast, their breakfast for lunch, and maybe like something dinnery for dinner. So I'd have to choose that, as lame as it might be. She also asked, if you had to shop at only one clothing store for the rest of your life, what store would you choose? I'd have to pick Nordstrom, only because they have bags, shoes, accessories, and clothes. That's hard too, because I shop at a wide array of stores for myself for clothes. I shop at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, I shop at Buckle, I shop obviously at Nordstrom, I shop at J. Crew, I like Madewell, I like Gap. There's a lot of stores I like, but I'd have to choose Nordstrom if I could only choose one. What is your favorite adult beverage? This is also from Carrie M. What is your favorite adult beverage? I'm not a huge drinker. I drank a lot more in my 20s. Now I really don't drink that much. I like white wine. I like Rieslings. I like Moscato. I like sweet wines. I like, for like a mixed drink, I like Amaretto sours as long as it's with the Di Serrano Amaretto. I also like, I like margaritas actually on the rocks. She also asks, I know you like Bravo. What is your favorite housewife series and who is your favorite housewife? That's hard. Okay. So there are a lot of Bravo series, housewife series. Favorites. I'd have to say I like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I like the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I honestly like them all. I know that's lame. If I had to pick a favorite, I guess I'd have to go with Beverly Hills, but top 3 would be Beverly Hills, New Jersey, and Atlanta. I'd have to pick Beverly Hills though. And she also asked, who is your favorite housewife? That is so hard because, again, there's so many series and then there's multiple housewife on each series. I like Kyle Richards. I really liked Erica Jane, even though she was new last year. I just think she's gorgeous and fascinating how she has like a double life and her husband's okay with it. So I think Erica Jane's amazing. But I like Kyle Richards. I've been watching her for years, obviously. I really liked that new housewife series that was on last year, The Real Housewives of Potomac. Even though it was only on for 1 season, I really hope it gets renewed and then I can watch it again, you know, the next season. I hope it continues. I really liked Katie Ross from Real Housewives of Potomac. So I like Kyle Richards. I like Katie from Real Housewives of Potomac. I like, I have so many of them, guys. I liked Erica Jane. Again, she's new too. But I have to go with Kyle Richards, I guess, as like a front runner. And lastly, Carrie asks, I know you like your mom's Italian cooking. What is your favorite meal that she prepares? I'd have to say her eggplant parmesan. It is just so good. I've tried to duplicate it exactly, and I just can't do it the way she does it. It's just so, so good. Her eggplant parmesan is just amazing. By the way, guys, I apologize if it's dark. It's literally 7:15 in the morning. So this is the only time today I had to finish to refilm this. So I apologize if it's dark in here. I have the lights on. Okay, so that was all the questions from Carrie. Thank you for all those questions, Carrie. Next question is from Alyssa, who is one of my online BFFs. She asked, what is on your Christmas list this year? So I want a new filming camera, like a professional camera. I hope to have that before Christmas. If I don't, that will be on my Christmas list. If I have that by Christmas, I would like maybe a new designer bag. There's a Chloe bag that I really love. I wouldn't mind another Louis Vuitton Neverfull in a different print. So like I said, if I don't have the camera, some kind of designer bag. She also asked, what are your current TV shows? Right now I'm watching the season of Real Housewives of New York. The finale's on next week. Next week. I'm watching that. I also really love a show called Married at First Sight. It's on a network called FYI. I discovered it on accident a couple months ago. I actually snapped about it on my Snapchat. It's a reality show. It is a panel of experts that match up 3 couples who have never met to walk down the aisle and get married. Like, they literally meet at the altar, and then it follows their journey for like 6 weeks, and at the end of the 6 weeks they decide, do they want to stay together or get a divorce. It sounds kind of corny, but it's really, really interesting and really, really good. But I've always been fascinated by just love and relationships, so that could be why I really like it. But I love that show. Again, it's Married at First Sight, and it's on a network called FYI. It's on Tuesday nights. I would recommend that. Otherwise, what shows am I watching? Honestly, all my shows ended. I watch I watch a lot of Bravo shows. I watch Southern Charm. I watch Shaz of Sunset. I love Vanderpump Rules. Again, all these are not on. All the seasons of these have ended. What else am I watching? I think that's it. I really just watch a lot of Bravo shows. I watch sports. Right now is kind of a off time for sports, but I'm waiting for football to start soon. She also asks, what are your favorite YouTube channels? Okay, I have a lot, but I'm just gonna I'm just gonna say the ones that pop into my mind first. But again, I have a lot, so I can't mention all of them, but I like Makeup by Tiffany D. I like Alexandria Garza. I like Michelle Pearson, who used to be I'm a Mommy. She changed her channel name to Michelle Pearson. I used to love a channel called OCD Much, but she disappeared. She had issues with like trolls and haters. This is just what I heard. She had issues with like trolls and haters and just didn't feel comfortable. And I believe, from what I know, she canceled and deleted her whole channel, which is really unfortunate because she was amazing. So those are a few of my favorites. Okay, so next up, I hope I don't butcher this name. Is it Hiba? E asks, how long have you and your husband known each other? Are you planning to go back to work? Are you planning to have more kids? I think I'm just going to go one question at a time. How long have me and my husband known each other? We met for the first time in 2003. We were working at he was working at a company and I started working there. So that's how we initially met. But we don't have a traditional love story where it's like girl meets boy and they fall in love. When I met my husband, again, we were just mutual coworkers. I was dating someone else. I was in like a long-term relationship with somebody else. But that relationship ended. And then just by chance, I ended up moving away out of state for a job offer. So I essentially met my husband, again, just as coworkers. So when I met him, it wasn't like, again, boy meets girl, fall in love. It was just, hi, nice to meet you. You're just a coworker. And then I moved away, and then ended up moving back home to New York a couple years later. And just by chance, we ended up working at a completely different company together again. And that's how we reconnected, built a friendship, and then eventually started dating, and then the rest is history. So we've known each other since 2003. We didn't start dating till 2005, and we got married in 2007. Am I planning to go back to work? Eventually, most likely. I would like to start my own company. So eventually, when I go back to work, I would love to one day again start my own business. I'll probably talk more about that in the future. But it's not something I really think about right now because I just want to focus on being a mom, a wife, being at home, doing my videos, and that's really my game plan right now. Am I planning on having more kids? No, I'm not. I actually did a whole video on why I am content with one child. I will link that below as well. So no more kids. How do I like being a housewife? I love it. I love being a mom and a wife. It's, to me, I know it's not everybody's feeling. It's the most fulfilling thing. It's more fulfilling to me than even I could have imagined before I became a wife or a mom. So I just love being able to do things around my house and keep our household running smoothly and being there for everything. If my husband needed me or my son needed me, I love it. And then she writes, lastly, I know you're a good chef. Did you learn by yourself how to cook or watch YouTube videos to make meals? No, I did not learn on YouTube. I learned from a combination of my mom, my grandma, and working in restaurants, and formally I learned in college. But I did work in a lot of restaurants as a chef and also in the front of the house as a waitress. So I did a lot of different restaurant jobs. She also asked, what are your favorite products to clean the house with? Again, I'm going to link that video down below of all my favorite products. I love Method products. I like Barkeeper's Friend. I don't like the Method wood cleaner though. She also asks, what are your favorite products to take a shower with and your favorite lotion? To take a shower, I switch my shampoo and conditioner all the time. I like Dove body washes, all different Dove body washes. I love the Tree Hut body scrubs. They are my favorite. They're like my ride or die body scrubs. Favorite lotion, I like Soap & Glory body butters. I know that's not a lotion, but I like body butters. I like Soap & Glory. I also love the Tree Hut body butters. I could do a whole video about Tree Hut, about how much I love it. It is just such an amazing brand. It's so affordable and it's amazing quality. So thanks for all your questions. Let's see. Pat S. asks, what is your favorite dessert? I would have to say homemade pie, as long as it's a good pie, obviously. Randomly enough, I like blueberry pie, which I know is so random, but I like pie in general. I also like pie with like a scoop of ice cream, although I rarely ever get to have pie with ice cream. Ashley T. She asks, What is your favorite activity to do with Grady? What do you and your hubby like to do together for fun, just the two of you? And if you could go anywhere as a family vacation, where would you go? Okay, so favorite activity to do with Grady, I liked going to amusement parks with him or water parks. We just have so much fun together. We both love amusement parks and water parks, so that's my favorite thing with him. What do me and my husband like to do together for fun, just the two of us? We don't really get a lot of date nights with just the two of us because all of our family is in New York. But when we do get to go on a date night, just the two of us, I would have to say sporting events, professional sporting events. Both of us really like sports. Before Grady, we used to go to Yankee games all the time. Obviously, we lived in New York, so it was easy. We like last year in January last year for my birthday, or actually January of this year for my birthday, we went to a Charlotte Hornets New York Knicks game in Charlotte, and we sat courtside seats. It was awesome. This coming November, we're going to a football game, an NFL game, although Grady will be coming with us. I'd have to say sporting events. We like to go out to eat. Again, we really don't get that many date nights alone. And then lastly, if you could go anywhere as a family for vacation, where would you go? I'd have to say for a family vacation, I would pick Disney, only because Grady's never been there. I've never been there, except I've been to Universal Studios only. I've never done like the whole Disney experience. My husband has done that when he was a kid. So I would say as a family, Disney, and we are planning to go as a family, but we want to wait till Grady gets just a little bit older. He's still only 4 at this point. A second choice for a family vacation would probably be Paradise Island, Bahamas. Yvette H. asks, what is your skincare routine because your skin is gorgeous? Thank you, but trust me, it's not. I have problem skin. I have acne prone skin. I have scarring because I pick my face, not so much as I used to anymore. Not so much as I used to. I used to pick a lot. I also have, I'm getting older. As far as the skincare routine, now that I'm in my 30s, I take much better care of my skin. When I was in my 20s, I didn't. I went tanning, I was a smoker, I was a drinker, I ate fast food all the time. I took terrible care of my skin when I was in my 20s. Now I just make sure I always remove my makeup before bed. I make sure I moisturize, I hydrate, I make sure I exfoliate. I use like anti-aging serums, which is all things, again, I did not do in my 20s. So that's really all I do, is just I'm conscious of it. I make sure I'm always trying to take the right steps to do all of those things to take better care of my skin now that I'm in my 30s. But thank you for that compliment, Yvette. Bianca A. asks, I know with Grady back to school for a full day, you're going to have more time in your hands. Could you walk me through a typical day for you, because I need time management skills? Okay, so I get up at 5, except on the weekends. I pack my husband's lunch, I make his breakfast, I make coffee for us, I will pack Grady's lunch up. I wake Grady up around 6:15. He kind of chills out for a little bit. I get him dressed, he brushes his teeth, he washes his face. We leave for school about 6:50. I get home about 7:15. Now I'm going to tell you a typical day, Bianca, based off of if I didn't do videos or didn't do YouTube, because I realize that you guys don't do YouTube. So a typical day after I get home from dropping Grady off at school, I would kind of do a once, like a pan over of my home and just pick up any little things if there's any little messes, or just kind of tidy up. I would do things like empty the dishwasher, load the dishwasher, throw a load of laundry in, kind of look at my planner and see what things I need to do. Do I have someone to meet, someone to call, certain errands to run? It could be anything, and for me, every day is different. Since Grady just started school this week, I haven't really found my groove yet for what my weeks are going to look like. I definitely plan to do videos Mondays and Wednesdays. So Mondays and Wednesdays, I hope to do all my filming and editing for the whole week, for the next week. And then like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I want to focus on fitness. So I want to like go for a walk or go for a run, or maybe do like I have the Insanity program here. I have P90X. So maybe do something like that at home. Fridays, I'm going to clean my house like I normally do. And then maybe schedule like something social. So meeting a friend, or meeting some friends, so again, this is all a new schedule for me this week. So I know that's probably not a really good answer, but my main advice to you is try to find time to pencil in at least once a week to do something for just you. So something that you like to do, whether that is going shopping, going for a walk, going for a hike, going to watch a movie, watching a movie at home. Make sure you have time for just you, because that is what's going to help keep you sane, since we only get limited time away from the kids and get a break for a very limited time. So that's my advice to you. Jen B, she asked, decorating philosophy. Buy what coordinates with a plan of how you are going to use it, or buy what you like and worry about how you'll use it later. For me, what works is buy what I need at the time to use. However, I totally get why some people would buy things and save them for down the road. For me, what works is buy what I like and use it. I think it goes back to just being a minimalist. I don't like to have things in my home that I don't use or don't serve a purpose. So I just buy what I need when I need it. Jen B asked another question. I love your hauls. You always seem to know when the good sales are coming up at places like Nordstrom, Bath & Body Works, Victoria's Secret, etc. It would be so helpful for my own budgeting to know in advance when these sales are coming up. When do they typically have their sales, and do you budget for these as well? So Bath & Body Works and Victoria's Secret are owned by the same company. So they have their semi-annual sales around the same time, which is June and January. Since I know that, I believe it's usually around the middle of June and the middle of January. I could be wrong, but I know they're June and January. I do usually get gift cards for Bath & Body Works or Victoria's Secret, or both, for Christmas. So I usually save those, since the semi-annual sale in January is right after Christmas, within a few weeks. So I usually save those gift cards. So I don't usually budget for that one, because I know that I get gift cards. For the June one, I usually will try to budget, not much, maybe like $100 to $150 between both stores. If I spend all my money at one store and not at the other, that's fine. If I split it down the middle. So I usually do budget about $100, $150 for the June one. The Nordstrom one I do budget more for, because in August, I like to get some things for Grady for back to school, since he starts school in August. I like to get a few things for me for the fall. Fall clothing and fall style is like my favorite of the year. I love it. I just love wearing jeans and boots and like a cozy scarf. I don't know. I love the fall so much. So some tips. Let's see. You can get on their email. You can sign up, create an account on their website, so they email you notifications. You can become a card holder, like a credit card holder for Nordstrom or Victoria's Secret, because you can use your Victoria's Secret card at Bath & Body Works. Bath & Body Works does not offer a credit card currently, like a store card. If you become a Nordstrom card holder, you'll get catalogs in the mail with like sneak peeks and previews. You'll also get emails about the sales and early access. Also, Nordstrom has a point system. When you get a certain amount of points, I believe it's 2,000 points, which I don't, and I know there's like triple points days and double points days, but I know when you get up to like a certain amount of points, again, I think it's 2,000, you get a Nordstrom note, which is $20, and then you can keep compiling them with every 2,000 points that you get. And again, they do have double and triple point days. So that's really the best advice I can give. Get on their email list. Also, if you're checking out at like Victoria's Secret or Bath & Body Works, if they're asking you for your phone number, it's because they use that phone number to send you things in the mail. So hopefully that helps on that question. Okay, I had to change my shirt because I kept spilling coffee all over myself. I'm just keeping it real. Okay, let's continue on. Blanche P asks, so many great questions. What is your favorite impulse buy just for you, and how do you spoil yourself if and when you get the chance? My favorite impulse buy just for me is shoes, for sure. I'll go out sometimes without any intention of buying a pair of shoes and come home with 2 pairs. But I do purge again, so especially shoes. Like I feel like I'm always selling them, donating them, tossing them, I have to actually do that soon and go through my shoes. But definitely shoes. How do I spoil myself when I get the chance? I get a manicure and a pedicure once a month, which I don't know if that's considered spoiling yourself, but I consider it to be like a nice treat. I like to go to Starbucks to get a pumpkin spice latte, which I can't wait for. In the cooler months, I like my iced coffees. In the warmer months, and those vary. You know, sometimes I'll go a couple times a week. Sometimes I won't go at all for a week. But just that little like $2-3 pick me up, you know, little drink will just kind of brighten my day a little bit. So I would have to say mani-pedi and my Starbucks. Kelly B says, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'll be 40. I don't know if I'll be living here in this house or somewhere else. I have no idea. But all I know is in 5 years, I hope that I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm successful in whatever way that means to me at the time. And obviously, I just hope my family is happy and healthy as well. Crystal L asks, Kipling or Jujube? I have to say Jujube, only because I've only ever tried one style of a Kipling bag, which is the Defia. I've had a gray one and a black one. I really liked those bags, but I'd have to go with Jujube only because I've tried so many different bag styles by them, and I really love them. So I gotta go with Jujube. And then lastly, Crystal asks, I think this is the last question. I can get back to it. Crystal also asks, are you happy where you are in life right now? If not, what are you going to do about it? If so, advice. Okay, so I am happy overall with my life. Obviously, nobody's life is perfect, including mine. We all have our struggles. That's why I really just try not to judge people, because you don't know what somebody is going through in their personal life, in their mind. Somebody could look fine on the outside but be really struggling inside, and I have been there myself. Overall, I'm happy with my life. Of course, there's always things I want to change and improve. The only real thing that's been on my mind lately that I would like to work on is just fitness. Not so much that I mean like I need to go to the gym and I need to go on a diet. Not that. I just want to feel more fit for me, just to feel better mentally. So I've been really trying to cut down on my sugar intake a lot. I've been trying to just drink more water, be more health conscious, and just try and find ways to exercise more. So now that Grady's back in school, I really just want to focus on my fitness more. As far as advice for people who are unhappy with their life and want to change it, the number one thing that's worked for me is when I'm going through a tough time, when everything feels hopeless, I write a list. And for me, that works because I'm writing it, I'm thinking about it, I'm able to look at it in front of me, and then I can go down that list and say, what is the most important thing that I want to change on this list, and work on one thing at a time. I've mentioned in several videos, like sit-down style videos, if you want to change things in your life, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to take baby steps. You have to be conscious of what you want to change. You have to admit that you want to change it. And then you have to figure out a plan to change those things. Again, nothing's going to happen overnight. And if you give up, you know, before you've really even tried, nothing's ever going to change. So you really have to define what you want to change, work on it, figure out ways that you can change that or alter that, and then stick to it. Because if you stick to it and you're on this mission or plan to change something, you will get somewhere. But you can't give up. You can't feel like this is not working, nothing's ever going to change. If you have the attitude that nothing's ever going to change and nothing's ever going to get better, then it probably won't, to be honest. So that's all the advice I can really give on that. I hope you guys enjoyed these questions, my answers meaning. Thank you for your questions. I really appreciate it. I hope it gave you guys a little bit more insight of me as a person. I love you guys so much. Thanks for all your support, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.